Hello, this is Melissa Brooks, parent-to-parent coordinator with the ARC of Tri-Cities, and we are here tonight to go over resources for after your child gets an autism diagnosis, what to do next, explaining resources and services to you. So first of all, I am the mom of 4 young adults, 3 of whom have autism, and my youngest has profound autism and is nonverbal. So I've had quite a few years of trying out a lot of these resources and services myself. And just to let you know, we have a closed Facebook group for all of you called Better Together of the ARC Tri-Cities. I'll show you where to find that information. And we have a lot of really good resources on our website at arcoftricities.com. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen with you and get started. Here's our website, arcoftricities.com, and as you will see at the top, you will see resources. So that's the first thing that I want to go over with you. So we're going to click on the resources tab at the top. You're going to see a picture of myself and Martha. Martha is our multicultural outreach parent-to-parent coordinator. So she mostly helps our Spanish-speaking families and has a lot of great support and resources for them as well. And we work together helping all of our families. So the first thing that you're going to see here is our local resource directory. And it is going to be updated soon this year, but most of the information is still up to date. But I'll tell you when we get to something that may need to be updated. So we're going to click on local resource directory again right here where the PDF is. We can open that up and get started. So on the front page, you will see the name of the group that I was just talking about, the closed Facebook group for our local family members that have kids with disabilities. It is only for local family members with kids with disabilities. It's not for professionals or anyone else. You can click on this link and it will take you right to it. And we also have a public page for everyone to follow where we post upcoming events and information that might be helpful called Parent to Parent, the ARC of Tri-Cities. So here's our contact information. And then you're going to see a table of contents with all of the information in the resource directory. The first section, you have probably already gotten a diagnosis if you're here because you've gotten an autism diagnosis. But if not, if you're still waiting for one and you're looking for a place to go, there is a list here that's mostly up to date. If your child is on Medicaid, it would be very helpful for you to click on this link. It will take you to a list of all of the providers in the state by county of where to go for a diagnosis. The first one is Elizabeth Bossenkemper, and she is no longer with Tri-Cities Community Health. She just finished up there and is going to be starting in August with United Family Center and will be continuing her work there. So feel free to reach out for me if you need more information about that. Angela Hamill is still at this location. And then we have, a couple of places that will do them for their patients. Pediatricians who have been to a special training. If you see one that says Center of Excellence, that means they've been to a specific training put on by the healthcare authority in our state to evaluate and diagnose for autism. They don't have to have that certification, but for Medicaid, that helps to get services approved quickly to have that Center of Excellence certification. So as you can see, I've only listed the local places. There's a lot of other places in our state to go: Yakima, Spokane, Seattle. And if you click that link where it says click here, that will give you the list of all of those other places. So these are just the local places, okay? The next section is called Where Do You Get Help for Your Child? And we want you to start out with getting services from the school. They do provide birth to 3 services, as well as developmental preschools for 3 to 5-year-olds. So school just doesn't start at 5. If your child has a developmental delay, there are services for every child starting at birth. So birth to 3 and then the developmental preschool. So you will want to contact your local school district and ask for an evaluation for those special services. Very important. And if they're birth to 3, then you will see here birth to 3 providers based on the city where your child lives. You will want to look for the city where your child lives and call that number and get help with birth to 3 services that way. Okay. And here's all of the district's information to get a hold of them. I did add some homeschooling and tutoring information for you there, and I do have a couple more to add. So the newer updated version will be coming out very soon and will be right on the website where you're finding this one under resources. Therapies are the next section. So many people, their child, after they get diagnosed with autism, get referred to ABA therapy, a type of behavior therapy. And we only have 3 places in town that provide that therapy. This first place closed. So we just have Caravel Children's Developmental Center and Discovery Behavior Solutions. To get in-home or in-center local ABA services. So the only place that takes all ages right now is Discovery Behavior Solutions. The others only take younger children. So just keep that in mind. And then we have some other therapy options for you, places that you can call. And if your child has been referred to any speech therapy, occupational therapy, counseling, medication management. So any of those services that your child may need, here are places that you can call. And it's always helpful to ask in the Better Together group for other parents' suggestions on places that might take your child's insurance or places that they really like to go. We do have 2 places in town that do horseback riding therapy called hippotherapy. So that's really neat. And the next section is how do I find assistance for funding? So you'll see number 1, the first government assistance program is called DDA that I have listed here. That is our state service. The second one listed is Social Security, and that's our federal service. So if you're living in Washington State and you have a child with a developmental disability, you'll want to apply for DDA. What is DDA? It's where you go for help with in-home, out-of-home, community-based services. So they are based on the child's income, not on family income, because they have programs called waivers that are not based on family income. So sometimes when a family first applies for DDA, they get a letter in the mail saying that based on their family's income, their child is not eligible for their basic services. But then you will want to ask for an assessment for a waiver, which is a program that they have that is not based on family income. With that waiver, the child also gets Medicaid. Even if the child has private insurance, is on your insurance, they can still get Medicaid as secondary, or if they don't have insurance, they can get Medicaid as their primary insurance. So having that, especially as a secondary backup like that, will help so much cover all of those copays and some things that the private insurance may not cover. One big example would be anesthesia for dental work. That's a huge one in our community that a lot of private insurances won't cover, but then Medicaid will pick up those bills. So The other things that DDA can help with are in-home caregiving, respite hours for someone to help watch your child. A lot of our kids can't go to typical daycares or have, just typical daycare babysitter type situations. And so they can help with that. They can also help with adaptive equipment, iPads, things that your child may need, resources with help getting out in the community as they get older, employment services, all of those kinds of things. So it's really important to get your child on DDA when they're young, and then they will have those services when they get older, if and when they need them. So, and then they can help you out a lot in the meantime. So, how do you apply for DDA? I think the easiest way is just to call the local number and ask them to mail you an application. The office is in Kennewick. You can also stop off at the Arc of Tri-Cities and pick up an application in English or in Spanish. They do have them, by the way, in lots of different languages. Always feel free to reach out to me and I can show you where that is or print one out for you. And we can help fill out DD applications, especially for families that don't speak English or that are having trouble filling out the application. But it is fairly straightforward. They are going to ask for copies of the child's most recent evaluation, diagnostic information, and copies of the evaluations that the school has done. So you'll want to include those when you drop off your application at the DDA office in Kennewick. So for eligibility, when the child is under 10, they can usually qualify as just having a developmental delay based on the reports that they receive from doctor and from the school. But once they turn 10, they need to qualify under a specific diagnosis, not just as having a delay. So it needs to be like autism is one of the examples. And if they are trying to become eligible with an autism diagnosis once they turn 10, they're also going to look at a couple of other things to qualify. One of them is their IQ score has to be 84 or below. And the school usually will do the IQ testing. They do evaluation, and then reevaluations every 3 years. And they usually do include something called an adaptive score and an IQ score. And if they don't, you need that for applying for DDA, you can ask the school to do those. You can also get them done, by a local clinical psychologist, but sometimes insurance won't pay for that, or you can't find one who will bill your insurance. And so it's great to have school do that. So again, with an autism diagnosis 10 and older, they have to have an IQ of 84 or below. And then there's something else called an adaptive score that they look at. And those are the questionnaires that they typically will give a family to fill out of everything that the child can and can't do, or how much help they need with certain things like tying their shoes, getting dressed, all of those kinds of gazillion questions for you to kind of fill in the bubbles of how much help they need with each thing. And they come up with a score in that area, and that needs to be 69 or below to qualify with the autism diagnosis, as well as having the IQ of 84 or below. And then they also have to have some sort of proof that they had some sort of delay at an early age. So sometimes one of those things can trip you up, and then your child is not eligible. So the IQ portion of the eligibility will be going away in 2025. So something to remember there. So if that's something that's tripping you up, you may be able to apply again after that eligibility qualification goes away. So for Social Security, you can click on this link. I'll show you very soon here where the information is on our website. We have all the very specific information of exactly how to apply, if it's a child or an adult, on our website. So I will show you that very soon. So it is easier to qualify for Social Security than DDA, I think. But one thing to remember is Social Security always is based on the family's income until they turn 18 years old. And then it's only based on the child's income. So a lot of our guys, because family income is a little bit too high, are not eligible until they turn 18. But it's always worth a try to apply and see. They do automatically get Medicaid if they are eligible for Social Security, by the way, either as primary or secondary if they already have private insurance. There's some other resources here to help you if you need help with any of these. I just want to talk really briefly about the premium payment program. It is a program for children that have dual coverage with insurance. So meaning they have primary insurance through usually a parent, and then they also have Medicaid because they have a disability, either through DDA or Social Security. So the Healthcare Authority has come up with this program that will reimburse you for your premiums, how much you pay for your private insurance for your entire family, so that your child will stay on that insurance and also have Medicaid. So a lot of the things that the child is, a lot of the, services are being billed to the private insurance, and Medicaid's just picking up what the private insurance doesn't cover. And so it's worth it for them to do that for families. And I know a lot of families that benefit greatly from this program. So you just click on that link and it will take you to how to apply for that. And we just want you to know that if your child is 3 or older, they can get a prescription from the doctor for diapers, bed pads, either disposable or washable, and gloves. And medical insurance should pay for them. A lot of times, honestly, private insurance will not cover them, but Medicaid always does. So all you need to do is get a prescription from your child's primary doctor. They usually will fax it in to a mail order place, but you can ask in our Better Together group on Facebook, or you can ask me if you're not sure of what companies to use for that. Here's some other things that can help with financial. I just wanted to point out one here called Ben's Fund. It is only for families living in Washington State. I believe it's for children up to age 26 now. And it is up to $1,000 per child per award year to help pay for things that your child may need. They must have an autism diagnosis. So if there's something that your child needs, you would need to get like a letter or something, some statement written up by the doctor, an occupational therapist, speech therapist, somebody that's working with the child, and you need to pick out something that they need. But you can just click on this link right where it's underlined, and it will take you and show you all of that information. Okay. Here's some other services that may be helpful. Where do you find support? The first one is Parent to Parent at the Arc of Tri-Cities, and then the next one is Washington Autism Alliance and Advocacy. They mostly help when you have problems with insurance, paying for services for your child with autism. They do help with in some other areas, but this is their specialty. So if you have any problems with insurance denying any kind of therapies, especially that the child was referred as needing. So the person that diagnoses the child, or the pediatrician, if they say, for example, that your child needs speech therapy and your insurance either is denying it or is capping it and saying that they only get so many sessions per lifetime or per year, they They can't do that. In our state, it's mandated that they pay for therapies that are referred by a doctor when they have an autism diagnosis. Okay, so they can help if you have any issues there. The Responding to Autism Center helps adults with employment services, so that's a great place to go if you need help in that area. If you have any kind of issues with school, with the IEP 504 plan, those are things that get put into place when your child is getting special services in school, or just if you're having trouble getting special services in the first place, you can reach out to PAVE. They are here to help with that. Okay. The Office of Education Ombuds can also help facilitate resolutions when you have any kind of complaints about your child school services. Okay. So they're there to help as well. So what is there for your child to do in the community? Well, it's summertime, and the first thing that's very popular through the Arc of Tri-Cities is our summer camp. So we have 2 different summer camps, one called Partners and Pals for ages 7 to 21, and then we have a Partners and Pals Junior for the little guys, ages 2 to 7. It's already June, and our Partners and Pals for our older kids, 7 to 21, is completely full. It is a program that runs all summer long, by the way. The Partners and Pals Junior, that program is a little bit shorter, not quite as many weeks or as many days or as many hours, but it's a great camp for kids 2 to 7, and we do still have openings for that. So you can click right on that link and it will take you right to that information, and I'll also show you on the website where to find that information. Okay, we also have a lot of events at the ARC for adults and young adults that have special needs. And then for our younger kiddos, we have an Easter egg hunt every year. We have a specific fishing day for all ages every year, just for families that have kids with disabilities. We have swimming days and different things like that. So you'll want to get connected with us by signing up for our newsletter on the bottom of our website, watching our parent-to-parent Facebook page, and watching for all of those events coming up. So Special Olympics, our local office here in the Tri-Cities is through the Arc of Tri-Cities. And so we can help you with Special Olympics. The sports are for ages 8 and up. And each season, we have different sports to pick from. So right now it's summer, and so there'll be specific sports that each child can pick which one they want to do. And then when summer's over with, the next season, they'll have a different sport to pick from. And so you will see again in our newsletter and on our Facebook page when the signups are for those. And we always have an information night to answer all your questions. But just so you know, there is an athlete form that you need to fill out, and a physical that a doctor needs to do with a specific form off of the website. So you'll need to either print those out or come and pick them up at the ARC. And if it's going to take you a while to get in to see the doctor to get the physical, and you think your child's going to want to participate, you're going to want to get that appointment set up and take that form in to your child's doctor. So Academy of Children's Theater has a wonderful program called Spectrum on the Stage, and they have one just about to start sometime in July. I posted that information just a couple of days ago on our Parent-to-Parent, the Arc of Tri-Cities Facebook page. Buddy Club is a program through the high schools. So if your child's in high school, you'll want to make sure they get connected with this peer mentoring friendship club for all of our guys. There's a special needs Zumba class once a week. I already talked about the fishing days once a year, so you'll want to watch out for that. I don't think Top Soccer's happening this year, but Rascal Rodeo, you'll want to watch out for that. Great, really fun, free event. It's usually in our area once a year, but they travel all over to a couple of different states and have horseback riding and pony carts and all sorts of activities for our guys to do. They get a free t-shirt and a cowboy hat and a bandana, and they have so many different helpers that go around and help the children with everything, and they just have so much fun. So it's, you can see, you can click on the link here and you can see pictures of the event, see how much fun it is. So you can see some other, we already talked about the horseback riding therapy, so those are listed again here, and you can see some other options. Mid-Columbia Ballet has a great include program. There's some special needs cheer groups and pageants, the kids rigs. There's lots of different sensory friendly events that happen. So like the yearly Kids Digs rigs always has a special needs hour, so watch out for that. Chuck E. Cheese has sensory friendly Sundays once a month, and Pasco Fairchild Cinema, they have them several times a year. And the Carousel of Dreams, they have accommodation Saturdays, the first Saturday of every month. So those are some of the examples of what there is for your child to do. And then we have some parent recommendations of places to go for dentists and orthodontics and haircuts and so on. So those are there. And then our section, here's our section for adults. So if you have a child who's an adult now and needs any kind of services, and you'll find those here. A lot of them are the same as the other, but then added in things like dial-a-ride and residential services, employment services, things like that. So keep that in mind, that that's in here. The last section is where do you get support and learn about autism, and I am going to go over where to find that information on our website. So let me get out of this. Okay. I hope that has been helpful so far. I know it's a lot of information, but always feel free to reach out to me when you have questions. So back to our website, under that resources tab, we're going to click there again. We just went over the local resource directory. I wanted to show you just a couple of other things. You're going to see behavior resources here. So there's a specific training that's free online, just do at your own pace, behavior training for families. You just click on that website. It's in a couple of different languages, and they have PowerPoints and printables for you to print out, and all of the information that you need to help you with your child, with not just challenging behaviors, but everyday tasks, every day, how to help your child learn how to effectively teach your child. Okay, so that's a really, really great resource. So then we're going to go back to our resources tab, and I wanted to point out to you these autism resources. So we're going to click there, and you will see, for example, we'll click on helpful tips, and we'll open that up, and you're going to see lists of webinars, toolkits, things that you can click on that will take you right to each resource. And you will see that there are different topics like help with challenging behaviors. What is ABA therapy? Help with potty training, sensory, eating issues, getting a haircut, going to the dentist, and so on, sleep issues, all the different things that a lot of us need help with our kids. So school, community, peer training about autism, sibling support, and education. So you can find all of that right here. I'm going to go back and just show you. That's just one of the links to click on. There's If you're newer to autism, you'll want to click on that one, and it will give you a lot of information to help you with just learn what autism is and what you need to do next. If your child wanders and you're having trouble keeping them safe, you're going to want to click on this link, for example, and you can see the other services here. Puberty and once our guys hit puberty, it's really hard to teach them some of those important things. So the diagnostic criteria for autism, find all of that right here. So then back to our resources again, I wanted to show you, remember I said I was going to show you where to find the Social Security information. So there's the top, we're going to scroll down until we get to financial assistance right here. That is where the Social Security information is. So you're going to click on that, and then you're going to click on Social Security right here, okay? And that will explain to you how to apply for Social Security and give you all the information you need for a child or for an adult. All right? So, the other thing I just wanted to quickly point out, if you're looking for camp information, or we also have something called Voyager or social skills classes for ages 14 and up, those things can all be found here. The camp is under Kids Services, and there's Voyager, okay? So I'm going to stop sharing my screen. I hope that was helpful for you guys. I know there's probably, I could go on and on for probably another hour about different things that could help or that you could do, but I just want you to know that Martha and I are here at the ARC to answer your questions. It's great if you join our Better Together group. We have a lot of trained helping parents in our group that know a lot of this information too, just as much as I do and Martha does. So feel free to just reach out in that group or reach out to us and we can answer your questions. Okay. I know it's very overwhelming getting all of this information at once. So that's why I wanted to make sure I was able to show you on the website where to find it all so that you can go at your pace and just ask those questions as you need to. So I hope that that was helpful. Now that you know where to find the information, where to go to ask your questions, you should be all set to get going with applying for DDA, finding things for your child to do, reaching out to other families and getting connected in our parent-to-parent group, Better Together, and with our different trainings and activities that we do together. It's really important that you get connected and get all that information. So just remember to reach out when you need us. Thanks so much for joining.